Chuck Long, and on this edition of the Entertainment Outlook, Newsies, the Tony Award-winning musical, is heading to TPAC. Newsies is the true story of a group of courageous paper boys who rally together and fight for a better life. Here to give us some insight on this much buzzed about show, TPAC's Tony Marks. Great to see you, Tony.
Good to see you.
So I can hardly wait for Newsies. I know a lot of people are talking about that. So for people who have heard about Newsies but are not quite familiar with the story, kind of give us a synopsis of that.
Sure. It is a story of a young band of Newsies. It's led by a lead character named Jack Kelly. They lead a successful 2-week strike against some pretty big people at the time, Hearst and Pulitzer. It's based on a historical event. It's based on a real successful newsboy strike from 1899 in New York. It won 2 Tony Awards in 2012 for the best score and best choreography. It's high energy, lots of acrobatic dance. It's a smash hit, and we're so excited to have it close.
I can hardly wait. I know a lot of people talk about the dance. We're going to take a little look at it right now, and then we'll talk more about it on the backside. So take a look right now. Here's Newsies. Now, as I mentioned going into that clip, you know, a lot of people talk about the dancing and the choreography and the high energy. Do you see shows just constantly upping the ante with the choreography and all of that now?
I think so. I think your traditional Broadway audience is looking for that big number. You know, the tap, whether it's tap dance or whatever, they're looking for big jumps and leaps, and Christopher Catelli knows how to deliver that. I mean, he's done such an amazing job with the show, and he does it very thematically. The Newsies dance very individualistically at first, and then they come together and start dancing as a team, and it gets a little bit tighter. And so there's a thematic choreography to it as well, but it's really high energy.
Do you feel like maybe shows like Cirque du Soleil and some of these performing shows are part of what caused Broadway shows and touring shows to really start moving into that direction too?
Yeah, I definitely think it's a trend. I mean, that's what's really people are excited about. And I think it's also the talent that's there. I mean, people are developing multiple skills. They can sing and dance, and then they add acrobatics to it, and they can do anything.
And I know a lot of people may be familiar with Newsies from the Disney film. So this is where that all springs from. So that happens more and more today too.
Yeah, and it was a historical event that turned into this movie in 1992 starring Christian Bale. It didn't do very well at the box office, but it had this cult following, and Harvey Firestein and Alan Menken went and looked at it and mined it and turned it into this great show. And that is a trend, to sort of find things that haven't been explored very well.
Right, and I think that was a really, it's a credit to them that you take a film that wasn't hugely successful and you turn it in, but to me there's a huge risk there, because you're like, okay, we've got a film that was, you know, so success-wise, and now we're going to try to do this huge Broadway show.
Yeah.
What do you think the key was to making the Broadway show and the touring show so successful?
Well, I mean, you're starting with top-tier creative. I mean, you're talking about Alan Menken's songs, even from the film. You're talking about Harvey jumping into it and saying, hey, you know what, let me take a crack at this. And then you add someone like Christopher Catelli, who was really inspired as one of those young people by the film. So you have this just powerhouse team. And I think their expectations were, it wasn't always supposed to run very long. They didn't really know what they had, and it was really the audience reaction that propelled them. So I think they had a good idea going in. I mean,
and this one I think also had a little bit of word of mouth hit, because, you know, once it started, then it just kept going and going.
Yeah. Well, all those cult fans of the movies turned into what they call fansies, and they had this great sort of groundswell of support, people who were crowding the stage doors every night, and that continues today. I mean, we're expecting to see that big turnout here.
Oh, can hardly wait. And it's got a great theme to it, too. Basically just kind of pulling together, wanting a better life. So, I mean, this is going to be one that you don't want to miss. It is coming to TPAC May 26th through the 31st. All you have to do to get your tickets is go to tpac.org, but make sure you get those tickets as quickly as possible so you get a great seat for this. So this is one of those that's going to really pack the crowds in. Now, in the time that we have left, I didn't want you to get out of here without telling us about the new season's been announced. So let's talk a little bit about that. Phantom of the Opera is coming back.
It hasn't been here in 14 years. We've been trying to make it happen, and we're bringing it back really in this spectacular fashion. Cameron McIntosh, just like he did for Les Mis, went into Phantom, and they didn't change the note. You know, it's still the show you love. It's still got everything you're looking for. It's just slightly tweaked, give you a little bit a different take about the staging. It's going to be a huge show. We got it for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow, that is going to be so exciting. I remember when it was here 14 years ago, and it was here, it would run for like 3 weeks, and I mean, and people packed place to see Phantom. It's just one of those musicals.
No other show at TPAC has played as many weeks or sold as many tickets as Phantom. It's played a total of 16 weeks here. It transformed the way that we presented Broadway here. It's such a near and dear show to us, and to have it back, and we celebrate our 35th birthday, to have it back this year is going to be great.
Oh, it is a perfect show to bring back. Do not miss it. If you've seen it before, it's bigger and better this time. If you haven't seen it, make sure you get a hold of this one. All right, so now let's go down. Dirty Dancing. I was so excited when I heard that that's coming.
Yeah, I think the rest of the season you have Phantom, this sort of anchoring this return, but the other 6 shows on our seasons are all making their Nashville debuts. They're all going to be titles that people are going to somewhat recognize: Dirty Dancing, Bullets Over Broadway, The Bridges of Madison County. They're going to have some iteration of them from film or book, but they're all new shows.
All right, what about Bullets Over Broadway?
Bullets is obviously based on the movie, very funny, very high energy. We were talking about traditional Broadway, big tap dance numbers. This show has them.
Families are going to love Matilda the musical, too.
Not just families, though. It is the smartest show I've ever seen in my life, and it's not just for little bitties. It's the whole family can enjoy the show.
Oh, that is terrific. And you can see right there all the shows in the new season. And want to let you know, too, we will have a full preview of all of the shows from TPAC that are coming up in a future show. So do stay tuned for that. I'm really excited, too, about Motown the musical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with bringing a show about not just a label, not just about creating music, but about a type of music that was so culturally important. Bringing it to Nashville, you're going to have this great Motor City to Music City connection. We're really excited about.
And finally, in the final 30 seconds, just wanted to mention Bridges of Madison County and If Then.
Yeah, perfect. TPAC invested in both of these Broadway productions. They're both new titles. A lot of people are going to know If Then from Idina Menzel. She's not coming to Nashville, but that's a show to watch and to dig into because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, great lineup. Make sure you get those tickets. TPAC.org is the way that you do it. Tony Marks, always great to see you. Look forward to you guys making a full preview in a future show.
Absolutely.
All right, that's all the time we have for this edition of Out and About Today. We'll see you guys next time. Good night.